Hi, this is Pam from Revival's Fiber Arts and Gatherings here in Greentown. Thank you for taking my class. Happy Valentine's Day, and I hope that the person you're making this mug rug for really, really likes it. There's really nothing better than something from the heart, and homemade is totally heartfelt and handmade. So enjoy it. Now, the kit that you would have picked up from the library would have had a small sandwich bag in it. Inside the sandwich bag is a clothespin, my business card, and there's going to be a small piece of fabric that has 6 pins poked through it, and a needle so that you can sew, as well as a small spool of thread that you can use to secure your mug rug. Now you'll have also, besides that, you will have 2 different sets of fabrics. Now the first set, this little set right here, is quite longer than the first one. And you can use either one for your gift. Doesn't really matter. They both make mug rugs. Just one is going to be a little smaller than the other. However, they both will fit a mug. Well, standard size mug for the smaller one. Now, this is the fabric that you're going to be that I chose for your mug rug for one of the others. And when that's actually put together, it's super cute. The mug rug itself, depending on how you do this, you can have 2 different looks. You can have one that's a little bit more polished, or you can have one that is more primitive looking, where you'll just braid the fabric as is, and that will give you all of those threads that come out and make it look kind of soft and worn, and it will look like this whenever you get it done. And if you want it to look a little more polished, what you'll do is you're going to have to pull your iron out, and if you don't know how to use an iron, you can actually and if you're a child, ask your mom to help, your mom or your dad, and I'll show you how to iron these out so that you can make it so that it looks more like this. And that is a lot more finished looking. And what I did was I ironed the fabric to make it more of like a seam binding that you'd use for hems or something like that. Anyway, what'll happen is you'll take your fabric, and I've already done this on here. I just wanted to make sure that I had it available for you to see. Now, this is the way it would look when you get it. You want to fold your fabric wrong side in so that you have like this little pleat on both sides. And it is absolutely okay if it doesn't match, if you have like gaps or you have a little bigger in other places. And as far as the narrowness of the fabric, it is absolutely okay. You do not have to be precise with this. Now, once you get this done, and I have all these fabrics taken care of here, you are going to want to take your fabrics, and you have it done. You got your little band there. Fold it in half, just like that. That will get your raw edges inside that seam so that you're not as inclined to see them whenever you braid. You'll do the same with each of them, and you'll lay them next to each other or on top of each other, however the case is here. I'm going on top. All right, now here's my other one. I folded it down and I put it at the top. Now you're probably wondering what that clothespin's for. It's for this. You'll take your clothespin and you'll hold it horizontal to the fabric, and you're going to push that fabric as far as you can in so it secures that top. You're not going to want to have a huge amount left out, because what's going to happen is this is going to be the end that you're going to want to sew this, so that as you lay it down, you can roll it without a problem. Now, the other thing too, this fabric is kind of long, and what I have done is I chose to use the clothespins, to use those as the security for the fabric. And there we go. You don't have to really braid this like uber tight either. You don't want it crazy loose, but you don't need to go so tight that you've got lumps and bumps and things like that. It makes it really harder whenever you're finally laying it flat, because what you're going to end up with is a braid. And if you've ever had if you've ever seen braided hair or had your hair braided, you know that it's pretty thick. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be able to lay it and lay it flat so that you can make your circle for the mug rug. Now you just braid down, and the nice thing with this is as you're going down and since you've already ironed this, it is going to lay flat really, really nicely. And you're not going to have to struggle quite so much with it. What I do is I actually use my knees, and I will take this clothespin and I will put it between my knees once I get to about 1.5 to 2 inches of braid and I can't do it anymore on the table. I'll take this, put this one between my knees and hold it, and then that'll give me the tension I need as I'm braiding it back up. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And it's kind of awkward to show you, so we'll leave it at that. Mostly because I don't have a lot of room right here where I'm at. So the wonderful thing about these is this is such an old art, and back in the day, people didn't have the luxuries that we have, and quite honestly, they had to make everything. You know, it was quite the thing to get a flour sack that you really like the material on and be able to use that flour sack to make a dress or make curtains or a rug. They used everything. And I think we're missing that now. I think that we need to learn how to get back to that. And these skills are not the kind of skills that you learn while you're playing video games. I love technology. I do. I love my computer and being able to get on Facebook and to do things. But quite honestly, there are some things in life that you really need to experience outside the tech world. And this would be one of them. Now, my shop is going to open sometime soon. I've got a lot of repairs to do in that building. It's unfortunate, but it's still a building, and it will be open as soon as I can get it there. I will be teaching how to card wool. I'll be teaching how to spin. Well, I personally won't be teaching. I have a lot of people that I know that are so skilled, it would put me to shame. I am a beginner in a lot of things, but I know that we need to have a place where we can teach these things. And right now, that's what I want Revivals to be. It used to be the Church Mouse, and the lady that owned it was kind enough to sell me the building, and quite honestly, I am so in love with that building. But we are going to have a dye studio downstairs, or a dye kitchen. I will be teaching classes on how to dye fabrics and wools. I will have other teachers that come in from all over, from Ohio and Colorado and Illinois, teaching lots of different classes. I have women here in the community that are fabulous cross stitchers and needlepoint people, and oh my gosh, knitting and crocheting. Things that I just don't have the skill for, but I absolutely love and have an appreciation for. I myself, I love to do what's called traditional rug hooking, and that will be what I'm going to be teaching. I'll be teaching beginner classes, some advanced classes. I will be having ladies coming in who teach at the shows that we have regularly, and I can promise you, if you take any of the rug hooking classes, you will so enjoy them. My goal is that no one goes into that building taking a class and leaves overwhelmed or discouraged. I don't ever want anyone to have that issue. I think that these skills are so important that I'm going to take pride in taking the time to teach them. It's, I think it's silly to rush people through, especially when you're paying good money for the class. And it's all about, for me, it's about leaving something behind that is is a powerful legacy for our children. I want them to be able to be self-sufficient. I don't want them to have to, I want them to be able to learn how to sew and quilt and things like that. And we are going to have quilting in there. I'm planning on doing a micro quilt show. What I'm going to ask later on after the building is open is that our ladies here in Greentown and in Kokomo and surrounding areas volunteer to bring in their quilts and show them off. And then I will try and get a couple of vendors from different quilt shops coming in so that they can vend some of their product, and you guys get to see the beautiful stuff that your neighbors and friends are making. I mean, it's just incredible. I am a beginning quilter. I have managed to secure a really nice table for the downstairs area. I'm so excited. We'll be able to piece quilts on it, and it is huge and it's wonderful, and I am super thrilled. Well, I'm getting close to being done here, and you're probably getting tired of listening to me talk. I hope that you're doing okay. Now, as you're going, and as I said, you don't have to do these tight. You don't want it to be so tight that you end up with a lot of bumps and, oh, kind of messed that up. You want it to be able to lay flat. So I'm going to show you what I've got going here. And like I said, if you iron these and you want that rough edge to be seen, this is the way to go. There we go. Here we are. Now that is the finished product that you will have, and you'll see that you'll have like this tail down here. That's perfectly okay. I actually cut those a little bit longer, and what we're going to do is you're going to need to use a pair of scissors. Take your scissors and cut this down. Okay. And I am going to use one of my pins, and they're these little red ball pins. I'm going to run it through all three so that I can secure it down with some thread. I don't want that braid to come undone. Anyway, now do you notice how it's not, if it was super tight, you'd have like a lot of like really scrunchy, knotty looking places. And you don't want that. It just makes it so hard. You want to be able to have it where it's going to lay flat. That's super important. Now, let's see, where did I put my needle? Oop. Well, I had it. I'll just have to hunt around, I guess. Find another one. But I have white thread that I'm going to be using. And, these are little handy things too. These little kits that you get to repair things when you're out from hotels and things like that. I'm going to put a knot in here. Okay. You're going to want to use doubled threads. And get that one out of the way. Okay, so we're back here to the bottom. I pull my pin out and I lay these guys one on top of the other, and I'm going to go through them like this. And it's basically just a simple basting stitch through. Okay. I hope you're enjoying this. I know that I sit and I talk and it's probably aggravating. I apologize, but I do like to talk about different things. And I think that I like talking through my classes like I'm talking to friends. And that's what I hope that we can all be. I think that there's just too much anger in the world right now to be mean. And quite honestly, Valentine's Day is all about spreading the love, whether you're by yourself or whether you're with family and friends. And it's just so important that we really pay attention to that and pay attention to the fact that we have each other during these times. Okay, so I'm happy with where I'm at with this. And I've managed to make that thread a little bit long and catch, but easy enough. All right, so you're going to knot that, and I'm going to knot it just a couple times because I want to make sure that it's secure. There. All right, and that's what you end up with right there. I have approximately 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch of fabric left down here on the end. And once I get the, once we start laying this out, you'll see what we're going to do with that. There we go. All right, so I've tied it and knotted it back again. Now, when you have your, you may know that these are not the best clothespins, but they were what I was able to find. They're a little bit sketchy about staying together. I think that they're good for what we're doing. If you've got a clip, you know, those office clips, those would be something that would be good to use. Anything that's going to give you some pressure, a rubber band. If you want to use Scotch tape and go around the end of it with a Scotch tape, that's okay too, because you can always pull that Scotch tape off, put your seams in, and make your mug rug. Now, I'm going to have to tip this camera a little bit, so if it's going to be interesting, that's all I can say, because I don't know if I'm going to get it at the right angle, and it may be a struggle, so bear with me. Okay, now I think I'm going to have to go there, and what am I going to use to hold this up? Handy dandy little thing right there. And now, okay, I think that'll work. I have a little metal canister that I use for my sewing threads and things when I'm out and about. Now, you're going to want this to lay flat, so you may have to twist it so that it'll actually lay in a horizontal instead of tilted like that. Now, you've got your end that is finished. You're going to want to push that over like this. I don't know if I can make that seen any better. Like that. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep that same process all the way through. And you're going to go around. Keeping it flat, and you want to keep that center as close as possible. Okay? Now, keep it going. Here we go. All right. I could have easily just had one of these done and just showed you, oh, this is what it is, this is what you need, but I just did not want to do that. I think that I learn by looking at somebody doing it. And I recognize that everybody learns differently. Now, take the pins that I gave you, those, and then push those through the outside. Take it from here and like take the sides. Watch your fingers, you don't want to get stuck. But if you push it through, it'll actually catch some of those other inner rings, and it'll keep it in place so that whenever when you're sewing it, it will stay in place and you won't have to worry about it quite so much while you're doing your stitching. Now, this is where you get to take the that wonderful handy dandy little clothespin off, and if you want to, you can take those ends and just braid them up a little bit like that. I'm going to put a stitch in them to save it, just like we did on the other end. And that'll protect it and keep it in place. Okay. You know, if you have any questions about how to do this, if you're having problems with it, I have no problem. If you contact me, I'll be happy to come and help you. That's not even an issue. And if you want to learn something, until I get the building open, I'm doing lessons outside. And if you'd like to learn how to rug hook, I can teach that. But if you want to learn something else like knitting, crocheting, and that, I will do my level best to find you someone who can teach you that you'll be happy with. I know lots of talented ladies, and I've asked them, and they are more than happy to teach this. Now, after you get that stitch done, just like on the other one, push your needle through. You're going to want to have those pins in place, because now we're at the point where we have to sew it. This is what you end up with. And quite honestly, that is the perfect size. Well, this is an empty water bottle, but perfect size for the water bottle. And it is also, let's see, here's my mug over here. There we go. You now have a really nice little mug rug that you can give away. Whoops, sorry about that. My pin went away. Okay, there we go. Okay, so doing this, we're going to take our needle and thread again. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, I'm going to start here at the very back where this little tail is. And what I'm doing is I'm running the needle. A thimble might also be a good idea. Let's see now. All right, so you take this and you'll run it into the next little loop on the inside. As you're going around, if you run your needle through and you're catching each one of these circular loops, you'll be good. You'll have a nice mug rug. It will stay together for a long time. Here we go. And what's great is that the pins that you put in, don't forget they're there. That could be ugly if you went to pick it up and forgot. It would not feel good. But you just keep bringing it up, and as you're going through, you just put a little stitch, and it's just a nice, it's just basically, see, I'm not really good at stitch names, but it would be what I would call a basting stitch, finishing type thing. it'll help close everything together. You won't ever have to worry about this thing falling apart. Now, and as I said, I'm going all the way around the circle, and I am bringing the thread through on each side of it so that it will stay together and I won't have to worry. I can use this as long as I want. You will be able to, once you've sewn these down, you can wash these in the washer. Well, yeah, you could wash them in the washer, although I think that you might want to do a hand wash with them. And if they become dirty, you could do them in the kitchen sink without too much of a problem, and then dry it. Here we go. And see, that's why the pins I was telling you about that we put in are so important, because they're really keeping this in place so that we're able to secure it without a problem. At this point, I am going to say that I'm going to finish up mine. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for taking this class. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you can be here for next month. I am doing a applique. It's going to be a shamrock. Well, it's going to be a St. Patrick's Day applique, but it's going to have a shamrock. It's going to have a little hat on it, and it's going to be fun. It really is. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you'll decide that you want to try it, and with that class, you'll also get a kit. It may or may not, well, you can do it two ways too. You can use glue if you don't feel like doing the stitching and embellishing. You can glue everything down, not a problem. But if you want to go up and decorate it up and put some neat little fancy stitches or some buttons, things that make it look really kind of fun and special, we're going to try that too. I'll have two examples. Both will be completed. And, you know, also, if you aren't feeling very secure about doing the stitches on your own, let me know, and I will be very happy to come over and help you with it. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. I really enjoy doing it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. Thanks. Bye.